during my work shift, so I thought I would pop in and see what's going on Clubhouse today. So I'm happy to be here. As far as my travels to Africa, like Simon said, I actually originally traveled as a Peace Corps volunteer to Malawi in 2008 with the expectation that I would spend 2 years in a rural community there working on environmental education and small business development, and ended up falling in love with the country, with the culture, with the language, and extended my stay through Peace Corps for another year, and then found a job that I ultimately stayed there for almost about 5 years, and did travel all through Malawi and also a lot of East Africa during that time, including doing an overland trip for 2 months. My friend and I went by all modes of transportation to Tanzania, Rwanda, Uganda, and Kenya, and took about 2 months doing that, and only spent $2,000. I don't know that that would be possible again, both because things I think prices have increased, but also I don't think that I could travel or live the way that I was at that time. But I really enjoyed all of the countries that I've traveled to. Otherwise, I've been uh, through Mozambique, South Africa, and just have thoroughly enjoyed absorbing the cultures of East Africa. I'm very excited to hopefully make it to West Africa in the next couple of years, and just try to learn as much as I can about the different differences in cultures. Really enjoyed, and what kind of hit home for me through my travels were just really trying to learn as much as I could as I went along. I think the number one thing that I learned with my time there was that um, the people that I came in contact with had a lot more to share with me or teach me about life and how it can be lived, even much differently than what I knew. But along the way, tried to also share the knowledge and experiences that I had as well. So for me, the Peace Corps experience was mostly about cultural exchange, a little bit of technical education as well, but a lot of it was kind of learning about the cultures and the people that I lived with, and then also being able to share a little bit more about the American culture and specifically with my own experience and background. I do still have community contacts in Malawi that I'm very close to. A family that kind of took me in as one of their family members, and likewise myself. I try to visit them at least every couple of years. Was back there in 2019. Um, and I would definitely recommend any travel to Malawi. It's a very rural country, I think, compared to a lot of the other bigger countries. But if you're looking for kind of an experience that's off the beaten path, I think Malawi is a great place to go visit. There's definitely cities and whatnot, but there's a lot of areas that are not as touched as some of the more popular, countries like Kenya and South Africa, as far as like doing safaris and that kind of thing. So, um, and Malawi's nickname is the warm heart of Africa. Everyone that I've met through in Malawi and outside of Malawi has been very welcoming, type of people that would give you the shirt off their back if you asked for it. Um, and Yeah, that would be kind of my little tidbit about Malawi. It also has the third largest freshwater tropical lake in Africa, third highest mountain, Mount Mulanje. So definitely not the tallest or anything like that, but has a lot of little exciting places to visit if you end up there. That's all I have to share. Thank you so much for allowing me the opportunity to share with you all and join you in this little lunch break. Thanks a lot, and hope everybody's doing well. I'm done speaking.
Just before we give Ty the mic, Simon, Jared, my apology that I have to come in. Just Sarah, what she just said, it's one of the most wonderful, like we spoke last week about Lake Malawi. It's one of the destination that one should be able to be looking at. And she just mentioned about Mulanje Mountain. There's a quite a lovely story about Mulanje Mountain when I visited Malawi, and every evening we had a story around the fire. I remember one of the storyteller telling us about the story about Mountain Mulanje, and that people who goes on the mountain, if they look backwards, they never come back. So it's one of the African really story, and there's also a story of a myth in in the Mulanje Mountain about the certain snake that appear a certain season or a certain time, and once you see that snakes, it means that good luck or bad luck for Malawi. That's why it's called the heart of Africa, because of that story as well, Sarah. I don't know if you have listened to that story as well. Well, in Malawi, but I love that country. That country is just the most fascinated, especially when you go after Mountain Mulanje, you drive through the T, and then just before you get to the other side of the Lake Nyanza, which is one of the most largest freshwater lake in Malawi as well. So just wanted to add that one as well. Tai, the mic is yours.
Thank you, Joseph. Hi, everyone on stage and in the audience. Name is Ty. I'm glad to be able to join this week on stage since I really enjoyed the room last week. So anyone who's heard me on previous travel stages, Africa is definitely my favorite region of the world to travel to. Also, I definitely prefer the road less traveled. And for that reason, for me, Abidjan, Cote d'Ivoire is my hidden gem in Africa. When I went, people were actually really surprised to see American tourists, which was pretty funny for me. It definitely has a special place in my heart because I kind of went with a blank slate, not knowing what to expect, but I knew I wanted to visit West Africa and I had the opportunity to go. So I grabbed it. Up being one of my favorite places. People are very warm, welcoming. Um, there's a variety of things I could say. They have beautiful beach towns, Sini, and Ivorians call it the Malibu of Cote d'Ivoire, and it really is that beautiful. I can confirm that. They have another town that I visited that I really enjoyed was Gambassam. It's the former colonial capital, but it's also a university town. So that would be my hidden gem in Africa. I think it's nice when you visit a place that's touristy because there's an element of authenticity to it, and it can be a really special place to discover. But I look forward to hearing other people's hidden gems as well. I'll pass the mic now. Complete.
Anahita, you got it.
Hi, everybody. Thank you for bringing me up, Jared. It's a pleasure to be here. I came in more to listen as I haven't really traveled much in Africa. I do have a tick list which I do want to go and visit. My grandma actually spent some time in Nairobi when she came over from India, so I'm definitely looking forward to going Nairobi. Ivory Coast is somewhere I really want to visit, Cape Town, Madagascar, and all of them places. So thank you for having me. I'm here more to listen and learn from those who have traveled before me. I'm Anahita, I'm complete.
Awesome. Yeah, you can definitely contribute by asking any questions of those who've been in those countries. So appreciate you for being here. Up next is Census.
Yeah, hi everyone. Great to see you all, to listen to all of you. Ooh, hidden gems of Africa. So Arusha is on the top as one of my lists. Arusha in Tanzania. It has the mountain, Mount Meru, which is just a beautiful sight. It has some coffee plantations and also some game range locations. It's really beautiful. The weather is amazing, and so is the local culture. So it's a really great place to go to. Another part that I would add is the Limpopo region in South Africa. So if you go all the way up as if you're going to Zimbabwe,
She might have gotten a phone call. Since if you're speaking, we can't hear you anymore. Try to unmic and see if we can hear you again. It's a bummer. She was really getting somewhere. All right, Census, we'll come back to you if you got caught up. Hey, Yaya, good to see you on the stage. Would love to hear your thoughts. First, introduce yourself to the people. If you got job roles, let them know about that as well. But then also your travel experience in Africa. We'd love to hear a little preview of it.
Hey, Jared. I know a long time. I have not been on Clubhouse in like forever, but I'm trying to integrate back in. Hi, everyone. My name is Yaya. I'm a recruiter. So I'm with Manpower Engineering now. And I work on various engineering roles from mechanical, electrical, technical, from, maintenance all the way up to VP level. So I do have a lot of roles right now that I'm working. So hit me up if you're looking for anything. And as far as travel, I love, love, love travel. I was born and raised in Nigeria, West Africa. So I will say Nigeria is definitely a destination if you've never been. But a tip about Nigeria is like anywhere else in the world that you might go, some places, are good and some places are bad. Everywhere has its good side and everywhere has its bad side. And sometimes for Nigeria, you may want to have security guard with you. They're not that expensive, to be quite honest. Even me as a native, when I didn't have to have any security with me when I went last time. But like I said, everywhere is different, and quite frankly, you're not going to always need. But if you do want to have somebody that can translate for you, that would also be good too, because we do speak English as one of our major languages. But if you don't understand the native tongue, when you go to the market, that might be hard for you. So having someone or a friend to go with you can show you around would be great. Because I have not been back since I was 8 until 2016. So it was great to have my family and people that I knew to actually help me and guide me when I went back home. And no, I didn't need security. I'm just saying that for anyone that may have fear of traveling alone. And then I've been to Kenya, Tanzania, Zanzibar as well. Love, love, love them. My favorite out of all of them was Kenya, honestly, because just the vibe, the people, the way they treat you, the way they communicate with you, everything was just great. It was very welcoming. I mean, all three places, honestly, was welcoming and beautiful. Tanzania has like breathtaking water. Like, I mean, literally, like the water is as blue as it looks in the picture, and it's beautiful. Um, well, actually, I meant Zanzibar. Sorry, not Tanzania, Zanzibar. So if you have not been, definitely visit. And as far as Kenya, I did a safari tour. I actually took like a whole month off and I did a backpacking trip to go to all three places in 2018, and that was super exciting. So did a safari tour, got to see all the went to a few different I'm trying to figure out the names. I for some reason everything is blanking right now. But went to a few different locations, got to meet the Maasai people, and that was super exciting as well. So if you ever go to Kenya, definitely make sure that you visit one of the villages as well. And that's pretty much all I have to add. It's super inexpensive. It's not that expensive. I don't know. I'm sure prices have probably gone up for most things by now, but back back then when I went in 2018, it really didn't cost me much. I literally, like I said, I went backpacking. I fit everything into my Osprey backpack. Like two things, I fit like a month's worth of clothes. That's just because I'm an expert packer. So, but if you're gonna go for something more lavish, and then you may not have to. You really don't have to pack much. I'm just saying that you don't have to pack much for any of these trips. You can hire a photographer if you're one of those people that really just want to capture that internet, Instagram content. You can always find photographers online, and hire someone. It's super inexpensive. Anywhere you go in Africa, honestly, is going to be great. And I want to go to South Africa. That's where I do want to go because I haven't been yet. But yeah, that is it. Thanks.
All right, and the fact that you said Kenya is one of your favorites is a great segue into DJ, who I see is a travel advisor based in Kenya. So, DJ, would love to hear your thoughts on Kenya as well as any African hidden gems and how you add value to those that travel to Africa.
Hello, Jared. Thanks. I was actually clapping when Yaya said out of the three East African countries that she traveled to, Kenya was her favorite because of the people, and it's true. Basically, Kenya is more like people are more hospitable and they're more friendly. So, thank you, Yaya, for the thumbs up on the Kenyan people. So basically, I'm a travel advisor based in Kenya, and like I always say, I'm one person who's more of a risk taker, in as much as I love taking risk when it comes to doing travel. So there is Somaliland, the de facto more country from Somalia, the main Somalia that is always more like a war-torn country. So it's funny enough, it's one of the peaceful places you can ever be in right now. They have crazy, nice beaches along the East African coast. And then also it's it's one of the peaceful places you can ever be. I was reading about it and also checking a few documentaries about Somaliland. Their forex exchange is actually done.
Is it me or DJ cut out?
Yeah, I think it's DJ cut
He
out.
cut out.
Okay, DJ, are you back? Oh man, that's the second person that was on a roll that just cut out.
By the way, did I cut out?
Yeah, you did.
Oh my goodness! On what part of the conversation? What was the last thing I was talking about?
Does anybody remember?
Yeah. The
You
census.
highlighted Arusha?
Oh goodness! So you missed a whole lot. Yes, I highlighted Arusha, and then I was talking about Limpopo province in South Africa. When you go up, it's one of the last towns before Zimbabwe. That's a hidden gem. And then I also mentioned, I talked to myself really. I mentioned a whole lot of things. Another hidden gem that I was mentioning was if you're ever able to come to South Sudan, my mother's town, which is known as Yei, it's one of the most beautiful tropical towns that exist, regions that exist. It borders Uganda and Congo, and it has some of the largest fresh cucumbers, non-GMO cucumbers that I've ever eaten, as well as eggplants that I've ever eaten. And the weather is beautiful. It's really a beautiful tropic region. And then I also mentioned Jinja in Uganda, where you will find the Jinja Falls. And this is more in the northern part of Uganda, northwest Nile part of Uganda. Very, very beautiful location with the Nile. The Nile comes through Jinja. That's why you have the Jinja waterfall and a dam. And it also has a lot of your fruit plantations and tea plantations. Almost all the tea that comes from Uganda comes from there. It's grown there. So that's a hidden gem. And the other one on my list was, if you ever get a chance to follow a migratory movement in South Sudan, because we have wildlife coming through from Ethiopia, going west, north, all the way up to the borders with Central Africa and coming back. And along those areas, we have a lot of wildlife locations. And the thing is, because it's one of the last regions with a savanna type of grassland, the way they've always looked indigenous, and then the indigenous people are still there, doing a lot of their work in the same indigenous way that they started. And lastly, we don't really have parks with borders, because You know, people always just kept some kind of boundary from where the wild animals are and where people set up their homes. Except we have some forms of illegal poaching that's happening, but otherwise, you are bound to come across elephants, zebras, giraffes, you know, while you're driving. And it's really up to you on how you interact with them. Obviously, the best thing is to stop as far as possible. So it's a nice place, nice, beautiful country, and one of the few genetically indigenous people in Africa live in South Sudan. So I welcome any of you there. I have worked there. I have worked in wildlife and had the opportunity to go across most of the wildlife reserves. So that's a gem. And lastly, I can get a ride to go all the way to Mount Sinai. It's by the Red Sea. The wildlife and the coral and the sea life, it's spectacular. I went diving, snorkeling really, because I was a bit too scared to do the scuba diving, but snorkeling, and managed to see all of these beautiful, beautiful plants, you know, all the various coral reef. It's just a site that if you can ever get a chance to do it, please do go visit. And this is Census. I'm complete.
Census, I just have a question. I just wanted to confirm, is Juba the main airport to fly into for all of these experiences?
Yes. So let me give you a background. We was part of Sudan, but during that time, not much development happened in the south, except in a few major towns. As such, Juba is currently the main international airport, but you can take smaller flights across to go to any of the different places, and they all have landing strips. And really, that's about it. You can follow the Nile, go across the Nile, you know, and we have what's known as the Sud Swamp. It's a Ramsar site, which means it's internationally protected wetland. It also has some wildlife that is yet to be explored. You know, not much work has gone into actually finding out what type of birds, plants, insects exist there, either than what people normally know of the Nile, but not from those specific parts of the region. Thank you.
Thank you.
Awesome. Census, so glad that you got service again and you were able to drop those gems. Really appreciate it. And I think DJ might be back, so we're going to throw it to him in a bit. But real quickly, I want to just give Simon the floor just to give a quick reset of the room in terms of the club, as well as if you haven't seen yet, Clubhouse is a new update. So if you go to the Clubhouse app, the App Store, and you search Clubhouse, it should say update. Go ahead and update and come right back to this room. What you're going to see on the top of the stage is Simon's link to the travel excursion he's planning for next year. And you'll be able to just click the link from the top of the room and sign up if what Simon says is interesting. So with that being said, I'm going to pass it to Simon, and then DJ is going to double down on how amazing Kenya is. So Simon, you have it.
Thank you so much, my brother Jared. I'm so grateful. You know what my brother Jared is speaking to is One Vibe experience. And every year for the last 7 years, I've traveled to Kenya with a group of people from Seattle, from Senegal as well, from Ghana, you know, from Europe. And you know, we've gone to Kenya and had a great time, but also we've been involved with amazing projects. We've produced festivals, we've produced a film. And so if you want to travel with me, the best way for you to show your interest is through the link on top of the room. just fill there's no payment that we need. We just need you to fill the information in this form, show your interest. We will learn more about you, and then I will personally reach out to you so that we can talk a little more. But that's part of why we are here, so that we can learn a little more and build a community of people that are enthusiastic about traveling across Africa. Africa is one of the most undiscovered places in the world when it comes to travel. For example, Zanzibar. Zanzibar is a beautiful place for people to visit, and many people go to the southern part of Zanzibar, but the northern part of Zanzibar is super amazing. Then South Sudan, who knew that you could go for holiday in Somaliland? I've also had a really great time in Liberia. I've spent some time in Liberia as well, and my hope is to start with Kenya, and then slowly grow into other regions of Africa. I've also spent a lot of time in Malawi. I have traveled by road, an entire week of travel, and I had a terrible car. But I've also done the same road trip with a nicer car from Kisumu, my hometown, all the way to Mangochi in southern Malawi, on the southern tip of Lake Malawi. So this is something that I would love to do with people that value themselves and value African culture, and that's why we've been doing this room every Wednesday, just to build this amazing community of travel enthusiasts, but particularly around Africa. So thank you again, and make sure you're following the One Vibe Africa Club, so that when we host this room next week, you're one of the first people to be notified. I will pass you back the microphone, my brother Jared. Thank you so much.
All right, so I can't wait to explore Africa and Kenya with my brother Simon next year. So if you're interested in signing up, go to the links at the top of the room and put in your information, and Simon will update you on all the additions to the itinerary. All right, so we're going to pass it to Yes.
This is Simon. I also have clips from my most recent trip, which was like 2.5 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, that I would love to play. And I was also in Kenya with an African American brother from Seattle who was there exploring real estate opportunities, and some of these clips include him. So I'm excited to share those, but if we don't have time, I will be sharing them in other spaces, and I hope that once we connect, I can also share them with some of the people that are in this room. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Yeah. Check out Simon's Instagram as well. He posted some videos of his trip from Kenya, and it'll give you an experience of not only, the nightlife and the food and the nature, but also to the cultural, religious aspects of Kenya as well. So with that, I'd love for DJ to expound on his, experiences in Kenya that he can share, as well as anything else about Africa that would be super valuable for the audience.
Thank you, Jared. Sorry, my network got cut off, and it's raining here, so it's a bit shaky. I was actually talking. I didn't know that I was not that you people could not hear me. So basically, like I mentioned about Somaliland, I'm one of these people who like taking risks. When people say like that, it's not a safe place to go. So Somaliland is one of the places you should have on your bucket list. It's actually one of the safest countries, because they're actually trying to have their own government and have them as their own country also. So that's one of the places. And also for the gorilla trekking, I really, really want to do gorilla trekking. I've done on the Ugandan side, a bit of Rwandan side, but the Congo side is also an amazing part. Recently, one of our local subsidiary for the KQ, Jumbo Jet, actually launched flights directly from Nairobi to Congo, so it's easier for basically Congo DRC. That's where the trekking usually happens. So there are flights that goes to Goma from JKIA. So at least it's making it easier for people who would want to get to that side. And then Southern Sudan, definitely, basically Sudan as a whole, because of the pyramid. People always talk about Egypt being the hub of pyramids. But probably Census can tell me, I know Sudan has the most pyramids you'll ever encounter in the whole world. So, and I'm also this person who always like to do things that are also untapped also. So that's why the risk taking also comes in part of my travel, and because I'm all about selling experiences to my clients. So that's why I prefer doing these things sometimes so that I get a first-hand experience before giving this to my clients basically. And also Kenya, because of we are big on safari. And then also when the migration is happening from Serengeti to the Masai Mara, towards the eastern side, towards the coast side of Kenya, there is usually also a migration of the humpback whales. They actually also happen at the same time. So when you come to Kenya, you can do a bush safari and also probably finish towards the coast side, either Diani or Watamu area, Malindi, so that you are able to have an experience of seeing humpback whales when they are flipping and just dancing majestically in the water. We captured some moments of them in August when I had taken some of our clients down there. And also there is one big thing that is big in Kenya. There is an experience when you come to Kenya, you have to try. We have something called the matatu culture here. I think Simon can also attest to it. It's actually one of the biggest cultures you'll ever get anywhere, because our public service vehicle, most of them have graffitis, fully loaded with music and screens inside. So that's another experience that you could try. And after all that, you finish down with some local delicacies. You can do some crazy Kenyan nyama choma here, goat meat. It's very, very popular. So aside from visiting the usual destinations, you can get into some crazy experiences and just understand how the culture works, and also go do some shopping in downtown. Yeah. So basically that's it about Kenya. I'm DJ and I'm done speaking.
Awesome, brother. I appreciate that. We got B in the house. What's up, man? Any thoughts on the topic?
Yeah, Gerard. It's a pleasure being with you guys. Yeah, I have been following the room, trying to be a part of the room and at the same time support the room. Yeah, I left Africa very, very early, so I was unable to actually travel that much. Apart from Nigeria, where I consider myself a resident, So particularly in Lagos. Lagos is a beautiful city. It's filled up with multinational companies, Shell, Chevron, beautiful places to visit, 5 stars, 4 stars hotels, beautiful restaurants, beautiful clubs, helicopter, private jets. Yeah, I remember when the first time I went back to Africa after a long journey to Europe. The estate I actually lived was like 90% expatriate. You find the Jews, the Indians, the Chinese, and then most of the expatriates they are working in the embassies. So it's a beautiful place to live. And most of the time I go back to Nigeria now, even the queue of the expatriate is so long that sometimes I have to leave the foreign passport queue to actually Nigerian queue. So that shows you that a lot of foreigners visit, particularly Lagos, often. But what I would love to speak about is the hidden gem. As a businessman, I do business in Africa. I do business in Europe. I do business in Asia, China, and right now in Mexico, Playa del Carmen. But anybody in the room that have second country and you live in Europe and you're a diaspora, what I have been able to do is to create a passive income in Africa. Right now, if I can count it, I think I have about 4 passive income. I would love to speak about how you can, whatever amount you have in Europe or in America, if it's 10K or 5K, whatever you have, leveraging on the exchange rate, that becomes millions in Africa, or specifically in Nigeria. So you can invest in shares. Personally, I become a part owner of one of the biggest banks in Africa, Zenith Bank. So, which means I get shares, dividends every April. I have what I call the investment fund. Instead of keeping my 10K in Ireland, I take it back to Africa. I think €1 is about 500 or 600 Nigerian money. So that become millions. That is being rolled over on treasury bills and bonds. Treasury bills and bonds, just because they are safe, they are government owned. So which means I'm getting profit and return from my fund. So I have this fund which I tied up every 19 days. I buy shares whereby I get dividends every April. Then I started acquiring land, with whatever I'm making from those investments. So I love land and acquire most of the land in most remote places and rent them out to farmers, renting out to any person that need land to do their businesses like mechanic and all that stuff, right? So which means I'm getting passive income from the land, and the land is becoming more expensive and more valuable. So at the same time, I have my land increasing in price. I'm getting rent from the land, so that become three passive income. Then I then decided to develop most of the land. But in developing most of the land, I was a bit strategic because I want a place whereby I will not be able to, I will not be having problem with rent and all that stuff you might have in Africa. So I was looking for a guarantee rental, long-term rentals. So I started getting land very close to universities. So I started building condos for the big boys in the university and for the lecturers. And that is ongoing. So right now I'm sitting here in Europe and I have 4 passive income in Nigeria. So when I fly to Nigeria, I don't go with my wallet. I just fly in because there's money waiting for me to spend. I would love most of the diaspora to get educated on this aspect because I have, and the interest rate as well, tying up that fund after, changing your $10,000 to Nigerian money, the interest rate, I was getting 28% interest rate. Then it reduced to 20. I think right now it's about, I think it's about 12%. You can't get that anywhere in the world, right? So yeah, for now, I would love to stop there. I still have a passion project, which is called Taking a Bit of Africa with Love to the rest of the world, starting from the African American to pacify their pain point. Most African Americans, they are tracing their road back to Africa right now, and they are more interested in Africa. But at the same time, most of them can't travel, either because of fear of insecurity or whatnot. But I'm saying to you, if you can go, we'll bring a bit of Africa to you. I would love to discuss that more with you, Jared, as time goes on. Thank you for the stage.
All right. Thanks, Jacob, for sharing that information. If you're interested, definitely tap in with him, hit him in his DMs. All right. So I'm going to pass it up to Dr. Matilda. Thank you so much for your patience. We'd love to hear your thoughts on this topic.
Hey, hi, Jared. Thanks for this room, Simon. Thank you for holding the space. Oh, well, I don't know if any of you guys have heard of a hidden gem in Nigeria. Forget the stories you hear about Nigeria, but there are loads of hidden gems in Nigeria. I don't know, Simon, have you heard of Odesh? Simon,
This is Simon. Yeah, can you ask the question again?
are you there? Can you guys
I
hear
am
me?
here. I am here. I hear you very well. Please ask the question one more time. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I said, have you heard of the Obudu Ranch in Nigeria? It's in Calabar.
Oh, not yet. Tell us more about it. Not yet.
Oh my goodness. I can't believe you guys don't know about Obudu Ranch. It's one of the hidden gems in Nigeria. It's a lovely ranch. You guys need to go there.
Mm,
The first time I was there when my friend got married in 2008. I was the chief bridesmaid, and we had the bachelor's eve and the what's it called? We had the party before the wedding at the Obudu Ranch, and it was amazing. The ranch is so beautiful. It's really huge, as in huge. It's massive. To my surprise, I'm currently based in Monaco, and I've met two very rich people who have been there,
mm,
just for vacation.
mm,
And then they tell me their stories of how they really enjoyed their stay in Obudu Ranch. So you guys don't want to miss that. You know, if people from Monte Carlo can go to Obudu Ranch just for vacation, I don't understand what everyone is waiting for. You know, so you guys should actually Google the Obudu Ranch and then see all the things that it has to offer. There's the cable car. There are loads of things that you would enjoy there.
mm,
So if you're planning to travel across Africa, please just stop by Obudu Ranch. You would never regret it. You
mm,
know, you would love it there.
mm.
So that's my story, and I'm landing my plane.
Simon, you got it.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I love that. I feel like Obudu Ranch should hire you to speak about their space, because I'm hearing about it for the first time, and I'm drawn to visit. I'm drawn to visit for sure whenever I have an opportunity to go to Nigeria. One thing that I had just a bit of, but I didn't hear enough of during our conversation today, was the food aspect of traveling across Africa. Almost every village you visit in Africa has a different spice that they use, and just a different way that they cook. Next week I would love to hear more of that. So go ahead, Dr. Matilda.
Yes, the food there is amazing. They have their local dishes, and then it's really, if you like spicy food, you will definitely enjoy the food in Obudu Ranch, and as well as the local restaurants that are there. And then in Calabar, the best time to go there is during winter, because and also in December there's a carnival that takes place for 3 weeks. There are loads of international people that fly into Calabar
Mm,
for this Calabar festival that takes place every year. So if you would want to really enjoy Africa to the fullest, go during the festival time, and then of course you can stay at the Obudu Ranch and then drive down to the center where the carnival takes place. It's fun. It's lots of fun for like 3 weeks. Party 247. It's party 247. It's really fun. It's really fun. I would love to go there again. I would love to have that experience again. The last time I had the experience was a long time ago. I would really want to repeat that.
mm. Thank you so much. This is Simon speaking. I'm really, really grateful for your inspiration about Obudu Ranch. But I want to just let everyone know that we have about 10 minutes before we wrap up our conversation today. We've been talking about the 7 hidden travel gems in Africa. We host this room with support of my brother Jared every Wednesday at 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And this is a space where we are encouraging traveling to Africa, from the diaspora to Africa, and also from African countries to other African countries. and we've learned so much today. And I want to pass it to Jared really quickly before we hear from Lelo and Katie and Digital Humanitarian who just joined us on stage. And then after that, maybe I'll play just a little music from Malawi. I changed my mind. I wanted to play a clip from my travel, but DJ mentioned everything in that clip when he was sharing. So Jared, I'll give you the mic.
You know what? I think for the sake of time, I want to just make sure that Lilo, KD, and Digital get a chance to speak. So I'm going to just yield my time to Lilo real quickly. And then at the end, I definitely want Simon to repeat the link that's at the top and what he's doing next year. But Lilo, love your profile pic. We'd love to hear about the hidden gems in Africa from your perspective.
Hi there, Jumbo, Barikiani. Thank you, Dr. Javeds, and thank you, Dr. Simon. I've been following a little bit of your work here, and it's very impressive. It's a really great job you're doing. I'm Lelo, and I'm original from the foot of Mount Kilimanjaro. I started traveling across Africa when I was pretty young. I started traveling by bicycle. I eventually ended up traveling around the world by bicycle for 5 years. And one of the things I realized back in that time, there were very few Africans because in most cases, I try to tell people I was from Africa, from Tanzania, and a lot of them they didn't agree with that. So yeah, it's cool to see there is this sort of movements and awareness for the Africans to discover Africa and for the diaspora to discover Africa. I would say that's probably the whole continent is it's a hidden gem. It depends what you're looking for. But for me, as I put a little bit on my book of Chile to Kili, I think for the all African people, they should see the whole Africa because there is no any single place in Africa I've seen to optimize other part of Africa. Because of that, I eventually started a company which I focus on customizing private travel for pretty much everybody, but we're focusing a lot on the sustainability way of traveling, but also on the aspect of adventure because I'm from the foothills of Mount Kilimanjaro and my first adventure was in the Mount Kilimanjaro as a young boy. So I really have appreciation for the adventure therapy. As a young boy growing up there, the mountain teaches a lot, and I developed the sort of program whereby I work with different young people and schools and different groups and customized adventure therapy where we do some adventure either in the mountains in East Africa or sometime in western part of Africa. But we also do things like long bicycle trips, which helps young people, even adults, to connect with nature. Because mostly we are trying to bring those who are less connected to nature to experience nature, to work with nature and understand that it's the place where a lot of our study is going to happen, especially for the African people. And in this case, we combine what is known as those gems of Africa. Most of our work is with the people who are living close to nature. Sometimes they're called indigenous also, but for us, we consider that the people who have a deep lessons of what the life probably used to be or will be. So we camp with them, or we find a way to conduct our studies around them. So they're like our teachers, being like staying with them as home staying, or just to visit them. It's depending with the organization around that area. So yeah, probably say that is one of my African gem is to invite people to look into the uh, travel in Africa into probably more another customized way. If is somebody who you cannot customize the trip yourself, you could probably reach out to somebody. For example, what Simon is organizing as a spiritual festival in the around Lake Victoria. There is a lot of other different ways to explore the continents. If you have interest in the wildlife or in the culture, in the music, the food, the history. There is so many. There is so many aspects. Yeah, and for us, we are very much into mental healthy and food and yeah, those sort of therapy. Yeah, and I will invite you to visit our page. It's in on my bio, and it's El Bundo Safari. And yeah, for the mostly, it's if you're looking forward to travel in Africa, but as well as South America, we organize some of our program in South America as well. And yeah, that's my jam. Thank you very much. This is Lelo.
Appreciate that, Lalo. Really appreciate that. And so we're gonna go rapid fire share with Katie, Digital, and Meryl. And if you could try to keep it within 2 minutes, just like, hey, Malawi, you got to check out this, that, Kenya, this, that. That would be super dope. So, Katie, thanks for coming back. Good to see you again. Love to hear your share. Then we'll go Digital, Meryl, and then Simon will close it out with some info about his excursion that he's planning in Kenya and with some music as well. So, Katie, you got the floor.
Great. Thank you, Jared. Thanks, everyone. Happy to be back here again. Love listening to what everyone has to say. This time, I think I would pitch Rwanda. I went to Rwanda a few years ago, had an amazing time. I think, especially for Americans, they don't necessarily often think about Rwanda as a place to travel to or know much about. I loved Kigali. I took a cooking class there, had an amazing time in somebody's home learning how to cook some Rwandan food, did a neighborhood tour. I think I don't think you could really call it a hidden gem, but their museum about the genocide, I think, is a can't miss thing to see when you're in Rwanda. Just learning about the history and what that country has been through is just incredibly powerful. And then Akagera National Park, which I hadn't really heard about before I went there, but it's another one of those, and consistent with what I talked about last week in Malawi and Mozambique. It's another one of those parks that is coming back after years of poaching and devastation, and they're bringing back a lot of the wildlife and bringing back the tourism and really doing a great job there. And it's definitely now, I think, a destination and a place to go for people that are visiting Rwanda who may only think of Rwanda for gorillas, but there's definitely a lot to see in Akagera and also Youngway Forest. I did a canopy walk there, which was amazing, and did some chimpanzee tracking, which was really amazing. So just wanted to throw that out there about Rwanda this week. But again, thanks for having me up. Really enjoy hearing what everyone has to say. And I'll pass it over to Digital. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Katie. That's quite insightful. So my name is Philip Ogola from Nairobi, Kenya. And thanks, Simon, for the ping. I've just woken up. I sleep during the day because I'm still on American time. And I will speak here as a humanitarian. You know, as humanitarians, we normally tend to forget ourselves, where we focus on saving lives and providing interventions in the humanitarian spectrum. So during my stay in America, there's one thing which actually came into my mind. I started taking space away from work, just focusing on my time out. And the travel has never been such therapeutic, where I switch off my phone and I just enjoy the beauty and I enjoy the music. And for the first time, I appreciate African food. You know, at times as Africans, as a Kenyan from East Africa, as in I get to sample diverse food from Africa. And before I traveled early in my years, I never thought that I will miss that food experience. I'll miss the Nairobi experience. I'll miss the East African experience where you wake up and say hi to people, greet people. You see wildlife, you see mountains, you see scenic places, beaches, wildlife, but you just take them for granted. But when you travel, these memories become part of you. And we are working with a campaign with Simon and DJ on seeing how we can just start to tell our stories. I mean, in our comfort zone, how do we use music? How do you use art? How do you use poetry to try and bring in vibrancy in our travels? And we are looking at bringing in the Nairobi experience through culture, where we tend to show the Nairobi foods, the Nairobi experience. And there's something which, as a Kenyan, which I really missed in America is, when I was there for 6 months, I missed just getting a Nairobi haircut, because the Nairobi haircut is quite elaborate, where there's a massage, there's a place where you get your hair washed, half your body get like half massage of some sort. It's very therapeutic. An American cut is just cosmetic, where you just get a clipper, 1, 2, 3, and the guy goes. But while in Kenya, you get to get that whole body experience, body massage, where you get to engage with the barber, you get to engage with the women. So some of these things, we don't look at them from a tourist value. But those are the angles where we're looking at work with Simon on how do we not only push touristic sites in Africa, but also share the African experience. It may be through art, maybe through music, maybe through just storytelling and just listen to each other. Because there's one thing we don't sell as Africa. We don't sell our experience. We don't sell our voices. We don't sell our culture. We focus on sites. We focus on, but we also need to focus on therapy. Like I liked what Lelo said, that he's focusing on adventure travel, and as a humanitarian, that's something which I've seen quite therapeutic. Like for the last 6 months, which I took away from work, I traveled a lot, and I healed from my trauma. As in, I'm now going to be taking regular breaks and just travel around the world and see sights and sounds across Africa, and enjoy the food, share a lot about Africa. That's the campaign we're actually looking to work with Simon and bring in the African vibrancy through art. So this is a very, very insightful forum, Sarah.
Amazing, brother. I really appreciate that for sure. And up next, we got Meryl.
Hi, I'm Meryl. I am a Congolese girl who is living and exploring South Africa with my family. There's so many gems in Africa I would love to talk about, but I will specifically talk about snow. Lesotho in Southern Africa, it snows every year, and you can also go skiing in Lesotho. Most people don't know that you can actually ski in Africa, and it's an experience that, if you're able to, and I think you should. There's also snow in the Western Cape in South Africa, especially if you go hiking. You can go to the Cidelberg in the Western Cape, and every winter you can get to experience snow in Africa. So that's just one of the gems I wanted to talk about today. I'm Meryl, and I'm done.
Awesome. I appreciate that. And just to round it off, my favorite country is Tanzania. And Dar es Salaam and Zanzibar are just like two amazing places with incredible nightlife, great food, very inexpensive. You can have like a lobster feast for less than $30. The beaches are amazing. And, the ferry from Dar es Salaam to Zanzibar is pretty convenient. And then getting around Dar es Salaam is like $2 US everywhere via Uber. So I really like to tip graciously in countries where the conversion is so great to give back to those that are, just doing their best to, make ends meet. And then Kenya is also one of my favorite countries that I've been to. I've been to Nairobi and I've been in Mombasa. The beaches in Mombasa are incredibly beautiful. The conversion rate is amazing. The nightlife is great. The people are amazing and friendly. The Maasai culture and the culture in general are just really dope to see. And the food is just delicious. So, with that being said, I want to pass the mic to Simon so he can tell you about One Vibe Africa and the link that's at the top if you updated your Clubhouse app, and a little bit about the club. So, Simon, I'm going to pass it to you.
Thank you so much, Jared, and thank you so much, everyone on stage for your contribution today. Without you, this would not be possible. We've been discussing the 7 hidden travel gems in Africa, and I have been traveling with groups of people to Africa since 2010 when I moved to Seattle. Every year, whenever I go back, I go with groups of people. Sometimes it's families. I remember one time we traveled with a group of about 6 different families, and we did a cultural immersion trip where, I took these families to the rural part of Kenya where we learned how to make traditional drums from scratch, traditional African music instrument like the music instrument I'm carrying right now, Nyatiti. So imagine African American kids coming back to Seattle with that knowledge, not of playing the drums, but making the drums. Currently, I'm just excited to travel with people that are also interested in investing in the continent in terms of, relationships, business, and just making Africa a travel destination or a vacation destination. Because if we don't advocate for Africa, nobody else is not going to do it for us. Now the link on top of the room on Clubhouse is the way that you can show interest in traveling with me next year. Next year I'm doing 2 trips in July and also in September. The July trip is going to be very intimate, very slow. It's almost like a retreat type of trip where we'll have a small group of people and we will be connecting with other leaders and other business people and just having a good time. Then the trip in September is going to be a festival type of trip where we are going to be involved with producing a festival. It's going to be a fast-paced trip where we'll be doing media tours. So it's a trip where I would recommend, artists to be a part of, or people who are involved with social media and creativity in general. So if you want to learn more, connect with me directly and I can, talk to you over the phone and share with you more details. If you want to learn more about the previous trips, we have amazing videos that we've taken during those trips that I would be happy to share with you. And really join us next week on Wednesday at 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And I feel that today we played a lot of we talked a lot about Malawi. And Malawi is one of the smallest countries in Africa. And Faith Musa is a friend of mine and is an artist from Malawi. And he's going to close us out today. Faith Musa is a one-band artist and he plays several music instruments solo on stage. I do want to recognize the presence of Paul Davison, one of the founders of Clubhouse. We would love to travel with you to Africa if you're interested. That's what we've been talking about for the last hour. We do this every week. We are bringing together travel enthusiasts from across the African diaspora. And this would not be possible without the support of Jared. And also, we have people like Joseph, who is a travel expert from Namibia. And it's just been amazing. We are at the tail end of our conversation. And Paul, if you want to join us, the link up on top of the room is the form that you can use to sign up. And now I'm going to close us out with Faith Musa. Unless, Jared, you have anything else to say before we wrap up.
Can I just chip in, Simon, if you don't mind? I would love mostly the African Americans and the Africans in diaspora who have not been back home for so long. Listen, you don't just have to go for the culture or for the food or the natural resources or the organic food or the sustainable stuff we have in Africa, but you can still have the trip as a business trip. There's so much opportunities, business opportunities, real estate, development, the things you cannot do back in Europe and Africa, you can easily do it in Africa. Thank you.
Thank you all so much for joining us today. The room is going to end in about 30 seconds. I'm really, really grateful. Jared, I'm so grateful. Thank you so much.